Realtors, your struggles with social media and video are over. After you hear this interview with Kyle Draper from the Social Media Mindset podcast, you're going to learn all sorts of tips and tricks to go around and go over the fears and insecurities and all the crap that prevents us from doing video and social media to the extent that we know we should. Okay, those that are really winning at high levels, those realtors that are killing it on social, they just know a couple things that maybe you don't, or they're doing a couple things that maybe you're not. So Kyle's going to tell us what some of those things are so that you can never struggle with social media ever again, and you can start getting results and start getting clients organically now. All right, guys, I'm here with Kyle Draper, social media expert, founder of Content Compounding, and host of the social media, what is it? Social Media Mindset podcast. Yes, excellent podcast. Right. Welcome to the show, my friend. How's it going?
Dude, it's going great. And I am not offended in the slightest that, you messed that up. So it's an average podcast. So most people probably wouldn't remember the name anyway.
Disagree. Great podcast. I have heard it. It's just, my notes weren't in front of me, and without my notes, I'm worthless.
But you know what? You're coming on my show tomorrow. And so tomorrow when I introduce you, I'll purposely say something like, Jeremy Brohm, welcome to the show. We're like, wait, that's not my name.
Shuffling papers in the background. Yeah. Love it. Dude, welcome to the Massive Agent Podcast. I'm glad to have you.
Thanks, man. I'm so pumped to be here.
Of course. I've been watching what you've been doing for a while now. 6 months or so. Like you just popped up. Like Kyle Draper is like, he's here and he's like, he has awesome shit to say, and this is cool. So how did you arrive here in the real estate industry, working with agents, and let's go from there.
Yeah, man. So first of all, thank you.
Yeah.
I did not arrive on purpose. I'll tell you that.
Okay. None of us did. There's no agents on the planet that did it on purpose.
Yeah. If we could all do it over again, we would probably choose something different.
Definitely. Yeah.
But yeah, man, it starts with just being somebody willing to put out consistent effort. I was a pastor at a local church in Dallas, Fort Worth for almost a decade.
Wow.
Thought I would do that my whole life. And then one day woke up and was like, I don't think I'm called to do this anymore. I want to go be in the business world.
Wow.
And I had no idea what that meant. I didn't go to school to go get a business degree, and so long story short, I started a roofing company with my dad and my brother right after I left the church world. And dude, that is where I learned how to fail constantly at social media, and video was kind of just becoming a thing. This was like 8 years ago. And I just learned how to do sales and marketing through a roofing company. We were the only roofing company in Oklahoma at the time that was even doing video. Like I was periscoping from the roofs of houses. And not that it wasn't dangerous enough as a 300-pound human, but I was adding, being live on camera to that. And dude, so did a roofing company, learned how to do sales and marketing. Through that, met tons of realtors. Realized one day that as a 6'3", 300-pound man, climbing roofs probably shouldn't be permanently in my future. And so I humbly stepped aside and started a company with a friend of mine building websites for realtors.
Mm. And
so through cold calling realtors and going, hey, Dustin, this is Kyle. Does your website suck? Because I've got a good one, right? Like that was really hard. That was a hard pitch to people. And so one day I thought, what am I really good at? And what do realtors suck at? And how could I bridge that gap? And what I came up with was I'm a good communicator. And realtors at that time sucked at Facebook because that's really what was the big thing back then.
At that time.
And so, dude, I just started learning social media in order to teach it to realtors. And fast forward, 7 years now. And here I am doing it full time, traveling the country doing it. And it is a lot of fun, but I'm really like, if I would have set out to be here, I don't know that I would have ever arrived here.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't know that you started with roofing. And what I love about that, though, and this is such a lesson for agents listening, you need to branch out. Like marketing is marketing.
Yeah.
Reaching the audience is reaching the audience. Using social media is using social. So see what a dentist is doing, a roofing company, a clothing company, a soap maker,
Yeah.
whatever, like restaurants, all that stuff. Some of them, most of them, use social media so poorly. So honestly, like I've kind of had this itch to go set up almost like an agency for other businesses because they need it so bad, right? And you're like, well, realtors suck at it and they need it bad. And
Okay.
you're not wrong.
I have an idea that we'll talk about offline about what you just said, because
Okay.
I've had that itch as well.
Interesting.
And I think I know how to scratch it.
I love it. It's just so needed. But long story short, you as a roofer learned how it all works, and then you're like, okay, realtors need this. You just change who they're talking to. Like all the stuff's the same, right? So
well, but here's Dustin. Here's what I learned that most realtors don't learn is when I learned how to do video as a roofer, I was already dealing with something that was stupid and ugly. Like I, because in real estate, you're dealing with beautiful homes. It's so easy to stay behind the camera and go, well, I'm doing video, Dustin. I'm doing video. Like I'm doing home tours. And when I have an open house, like I'm showing the house, and it's easy because that's pretty. But in roofing, if I wasn't in front of the camera, I mean, good night. Those are the worst videos in the history of the world, because it's like, how many different angles can I show this shingle from to get you to care? And so it really forced me to learn like how to leverage me, right? I'm the commodity. I'm the personality. I'm what people are going to be drawn to, not the product.
Exactly.
And this is what I think most realtors miss, and where I think you and I are both trying to really help them understand that you've got to make it so much more about what you offer as a human than just, here's how many deals I've closed and here's the company I'm with.
Oh God, you're speaking my language. I mean, I am an agent. I always will be an agent. But like I started as that, and then I realized I don't understand this stuff. I suck at this stuff.
Yeah.
And as I started to learn the concepts you're talking about and how to, how video is infinitely scalable. You record a 2-minute video and you can have 5 people see it or 5 million, cost the same amount of money, same amount of time.
Yeah.
That stuff gets addicting when you're like, wait, I have all these tools for free that they'll just let me use them. But then you become aware of the rest of the industry, and we so do not understand that. I've become passionate about digitally and virtually shaking the industry and saying like,
right,
if you want to sell more homes, like you can continue following that old crap that your broker that hasn't sold in 30 years is teaching you, or you can use what actually works today and is so much more cost effective, but you've got to start doing it this way. Like, I love that. That's why I do this podcast. That's why you do your podcast. That's why we're even talking today is
right.
Not only did we find a business need within the real estate and mortgage industry, but it's rewarding as hell to help an agent who they're just not making ends meet. They're just not doing so well. And then they start doing certain things a certain way over a period of time, and magically, quote unquote,
right,
they just start getting more business. Weird,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. What's the quote? Like, the harder I work, the luckier I get.
Yes, exactly.
I don't know who said that. Somebody really smart, I'm sure. But dude, that's it. And what I love, and I know you love this too, because you talk about it in your stories and in all your content. I love that when we get to help people in the digital world, especially with video, like we have to help fix the mindset of the person, not just instill a skill set. Or like anybody can just go read a book and learn how to go, build a house, can learn how to go, lay new concrete in their driveway. But like when you start trying to help somebody with video, it is 100% up here. right? And for the podcast, I'm pointing to my head because you obviously aren't watching this. And so I love that we get to truly help people like buy in to who they are. And dude, it's super cool when you watch that light bulb come on for somebody and they get it. And they let their guard down. They stop just being a salesperson on camera and they start actually being a human.
Yes.
And man, it is a powerful, powerful tool when we really stop giving a crap about like, well, no, like I have a hat on. Is that unprofessional?
Right.
Like, don't I need to go like put some mousse in my hair and like, you know, swoop it over before I jump on camera? But that's not real life to the millions of people out there that are also wearing hats today.
Right.
It's huge.
That's right. There's so many directions I could take this conversation, but you brought up something that is so on point and so relevant for where I'm at the stage in my career that I'm at. The mindset of the way that you think while you're doing this content matters dramatically.
Oh gosh.
And it took me a long time to understand that. So, you know, obviously you can have broken thinking and scarcity mindset and all that. And just by doing video and doing some more posts and getting engagement on your stories and on your posts, you can absolutely move the needle in a positive direction and start getting more business. But pretty soon you're going to notice the growth starts to stall out and you kind of hit this plateau. Like you're growing, but you keep like hitting against this ceiling. Yeah. And I just finished this amazing book by Michael Burnoff called Average Sucks. He was on my podcast a month or two ago. He's an NLP mindset guy.
Okay.
His book is so great, but we all have our average, and our average is that ceiling. So we may have, if we've set the expectation for ourselves that if we can just get 100 views per video, or, you know, if we could just get an extra deal per month or whatever, and that to us is satisfying, then we're going to keep hitting against that. And we're like, how come I'm not growing? Well, because, well, there's a lot of reasons. This could be five podcast episodes, but you run into that ceiling, that average that we all have. And without the mindset to level up and increase your thermostat, so to speak, you're just going to run up against that wall. And I don't think anyone listening wants that.
No, they don't deep down, but isn't it interesting how like we always want what we're not ready for. Right? Like I want to be a millionaire. I'm not ready to be a million. You know, like I don't have enough checks and balances in my life yet.
You're ready
to win you know, and maybe I am, right? And maybe maybe I'm revealing my own personal self-limiting belief, right here live on the podcast. But we all want things that if we're being honest with, like we're not ready for what also comes with those things. That's why most lottery ticket winners are broke within several years, right?
Yes.
Because getting the reward doesn't necessarily keep you where you want to go.
Yes.
And so what I've learned, because I love what you said about the plateau. For me, man, I've done video consistently for 7 years now. And I felt like I was kind of hitting a plateau kind of right before I chose to start my podcast, because that was my way of getting to that next level.
Right.
Like I believed in my content. I'd been so passionate and so committed to just doing consistent video week after week, sometimes day after day for years and years and years. And so I knew my content's as good as anybody's, but people didn't know who I was yet. And that was okay, right? I was okay with paying my dues to deserve to be seen and known by people. And so now I started a podcast. I start bringing on people like you're coming on the show tomorrow. And now I have credibility to go after big players in our industry. And they go look me up and they go, where have you been?
Right.
Like, this is great stuff. And this is what keeps me awake at night for realtors, is they try to treat social media as a genie in a bottle. I need a new listing. Well, what should I do? I better go on Facebook and ask for it. And that's completely backwards with how we should be treating social media.
Right.
And so if people understand that, like the Facebook Live I'm going to do this afternoon is for people that are coming, not for the people that are already here. And so I'm always forward thinking with every video that I'm doing. And so I don't get caught up in, oh man, well, it only got 80 views and I thought it was going to get 8,000. Who cares? It could get 1 million a year from now. Right. That's the beauty of the internet. But most realtors, they don't even get the chance that you and I get because they're not even taking any shots.
Yes.
But they're hoping to make one without shooting it.
I see it all the time.
Right?
Yeah. I battled with that. I'm sure you did in the beginning.
Absolutely.
Right? All the same objections or fears or worries or insecurities, really. I think fear and insecurity sums it all up.
No doubt. Yep.
And so, okay, when you were first starting out, Kyle, how did you break past that? What did you do to overcome the fear and insecurity that was holding you back and preventing you from really hitting the content the way you wanted to?
Well, I think that's a great question. I learned, I think I was fortunate that, as a pastor, I spoke on a stage multiple times a week for for almost 10 years.
Ooh, yeah.
And so I was incredibly comfortable speaking to people. So I didn't have to overcome what a lot of people do at first, which is like just speaking into a microphone and into a little hole in a camera is super uncomfortable and awkward at first.
Totally.
Right. Super weird. And so I didn't have to overcome that to the degree that a lot of people do because I spoke for a living. But what I learned early on, Dustin, was who I am on camera is who I am in person.
Yes.
And so what drives me freaking nuts about our industry is when I talk to realtors and I'm like, how many coffee, right? Well, this would be pre-COVID, right? Because these numbers have changed pretty significantly since COVID, but before COVID and we're getting back to somewhat normal. Mm-hmm. I'd ask them like, how many appointments do you have a week? Dozens, right? I mean, good agents, if they said 0, then we already knew kind of probably what their numbers were.
Kind of a clue. Yeah.
But good agents were meeting with people all the time. And so I would ask them, do you have anxiety when like you pull up to Starbucks? Do you have to like pep talk yourself in the rearview mirror? Like, am I about to do this? Am I about to walk into a public place as this person? No, right? We just walk in. And so when we realize that the same people that we're not afraid to have coffee with are the same people that are going to end up watching our videos, it instantly can be less weird if you let it. Because it takes that away. If you're like, yeah, but I'm fat. Okay, well, guess what? You're fat at Starbucks. Yeah. Like it's not like Starbucks is like a house of mirrors.
Yeah. It's not
where
I
get to walk in, and be this like chiseled dude. And people are like, oh man, I thought you were chiseled on video, but you are not. It's the same, right? If I don't think I'm educated enough, I think I'm educated enough to go have coffee with you. Mm-hmm. And so we create all these false narratives that literally exist. And when I figure this out, I'll be really rich because I'll solve everybody's problems.
Right.
But that's the greatest struggle is we have this complex about, yeah, but I want to be famous and I want to have 1 million subscribers on YouTube. But then like, what if trolls show up? I've never had a troll. Why? Because I'm not relevant enough. Like I'm not The Rock.
Right.
I'm not Ellen DeGeneres. Like I'm not relevant enough for people to hate me.
Makes you want to work harder, doesn't it?
It does make me want to work harder, but it also should help people understand that there's safety in starting small.
Right.
Because most people aren't ready for 100 bad comments on YouTube. Like you need to just jump on Facebook so your grandma can go, you look so cute, honey. Right. So you can get some of that affirmation to feel better about what you're trying to do.
Right. Right. I don't think I've really had any trolls. I mean, I've had a comment here or there. Here's what sticks out to me. The only real thing where someone like they just kept coming back. They were like, hey, you haven't sold any houses. I was like, I've sold houses. They're like, no, you haven't. I was like, yes, I have. Well, no, because I'm looking at Zillow and it shows 0 homes sold in the last 12 months. I'm like, no shit, I don't use Zillow. Like at all. Like, we don't syndicate to Zillow in Utah, and our brokerage doesn't syndicate to Zillow, so I don't use Zillow. And they're like, but everyone uses it. And I'm like, I don't use Zillow. Like, they were trying to say that like I was some imposter who just doesn't sell homes or something. I also don't claim to be someone that sells 1,000 homes a year, but it was odd. And at the time I was irked, but at the same time, I'm like, this person's stupid. And I know what they're trying to do. So whatever. Other than that, nothing. Like positivity. And I'm sure I repel some people that just don't want to see
of course.
videos. They don't like my personality. They don't like the way I say things. They don't like that I wear a hat and a t-shirt 100% of the time. Okay. Like, I just don't hear from them. Right. Like, we just don't hear from those people. Not a problem.
Yeah. We rarely experience the fears that we allow to be entertained in our minds, like just period in life.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, how many times, have people gone to the doctor and they're like, oh my gosh, what if I'm sick? What if I'm, and it's nothing, but you don't get that time back that you spent reeling in fear and anxiety, and you missed a fun evening with your family because you were so nervous about the appointment in the morning. Like, bro, how many transactions are being left on the table because realtors are simply too insecure to just hit a live button and talk to their friends?
Dude, that is such a profound and powerful question.
It's crazy.
It's like an infinite number of transactions. Like, all the transactions are being left on the table. So thinking back to when I had those insecurities, honestly, I think for me, my desire to grow and to be successful and have, make something of this new effort, this new content creation effort that I was doing, my desire for that to work, just, it trumped any insecurity or nervousness or awkwardness or, not liking hearing my voice. Guys, here's a secret. I've recorded, this is episode 188, and I did 600 episodes of the flash briefing, and I've done, I don't know how many hundreds or thousands of videos. I still don't like to hear my own voice. It's weird.
Me either.
You just don't care at some point.
Yeah. Well, and one of my tips is I don't watch any of my videos back.
There you go.
I don't watch any of them. And I've had people go, well, man, how do you get better? Well, I have certain people in my life that I know will watch them. And if I truly do something bad, they're going to call me out and they're going to go, dude, why'd you do that video? And I'll be like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know I did that. Right.
Yeah.
But most of the time I don't get to have a play-by-play announcer at Starbucks with me. Right. Red flagging things that I say that are inappropriate.
A fact checker.
Yeah, like I don't have a fact checker sitting next to me at at coffee. And so why do we need to treat video any different? And I tell the story all the time, Dustin, that if you take two people, right, you take me, that's like the consummate Facebook Live guy. Like almost 99% of what I do is directly through live video on some platform, mostly Facebook. And then you take a realtor, and at 9 a.m. tomorrow, I go live, and then they record a video. But they don't record it one time. They record it 14 times.
Yes.
Because they kept watching it back and they kept going, gosh, dang it. I said, gosh, dang it. I paused too long between those sentences. Why did I look over there? And they come up with these stupid reasons as to why they need to redo it. So at 9:05, my video is on the internet, being watched, being consumed, being commented on by people, while they have now wasted probably 90 minutes. So now it's 10:30. Now they've got appointments. Now they got to pick the kids up from school. And then now it's dinner time. And then they spend the evening with the kids. And then they put them to bed. And then their spouse wants them to do something. And then it's 9 p.m. and they've sat down now to edit a video. Oh, but wait, they suck at video editing because they're a realtor, not a video editor. And so now that takes them 3 hours to edit a 3-minute video. They hate it by the time it's finished, but they do finish it. But now it's midnight. And so they're not going to post it because it's midnight. And so now they're not going to post their sucky edited video until 24 hours after my video has already been on the internet.
Right.
This to me is one of the greatest issues that we have with realtors in our industry is they want it to be perfect so bad that most of them end up quitting before they ever even put it out there. When if they would just rip off the Band-Aid, start doing some live video, they would watch the fear and the anxiety begin to just drip away, because there's no greater equalizer to all of those things than knowing you're live on camera.
Right.
And so that's the story that I love for people to go like, where are you in that story? Where are you self-sabotaging yourself? And let's fix it. But we can't fix it by listening to another podcast or reading another book or interviewing a guru. The only way I can get better at anything is to do that thing. But people aren't willing to suck at first.
I heard, I was listening to a podcast earlier, and I heard something that really hit me right between the eyes. And it was, whatever you are avoiding the most is probably the thing that will make the biggest positive impact in your life once you do it.
And 100%.
And I think back to everything that I dragged my feet on, or I procrastinated, or whatever, or I just kept distracting myself with other BS. I censor myself because I'm with a man of God here.
Come on, dude.
Yeah.
Hey, my podcast has an E on every episode. So
it's going to have to if I'm on it. So
come on.
Yeah. But it's so true. Like starting video, launching a blog, starting this podcast, like anything that I would procrastinate and then finally did it. First off, it's always easier.
Yep.
Easier than you thought it would be. Less nerve-wracking. You don't get all those trolls coming at you at all.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So whatever you're avoiding the most is probably the thing that you need to do the most. It's
so good.
It is. Fun story about my son last night. My 7-year-old boy, we had to pull one of his teeth. He had a loose tooth that was super loose.
All right.
He does not do well with the anticipation of pain.
Sure.
Oh my God. Absolutely. Like it took about 30 minutes just to convince him to let us pull the stupid thing. But every single time, and this has happened numerous times, as soon as it's pulled, he's like, oh, like, wow, that wasn't that bad. And then it's like, oh, cool. Now I'm going to get money. The tooth fairy is going to hook me up, and it's over. And how many of us are throwing these temper tantrums, these freakouts, in anticipation that something's going to be so hard, and then we do it, and we're like, oh, all the time.
Yep. Well, all the time. My 6-year-old's going through that exact same thing right now.
Oh, it's so frustrating, but I get it. I don't know.
I had a guy on the podcast a couple weeks ago that he's also a video expert. And he explained to me, and again, I'm a video expert, and the way he explained this to me, I was like, holy crap, you are so much smarter than me. I am stealing this every time I talk about video, because he said, Kyle, think about our brains. He said, our brains were designed for fight or flight.
Yes.
Right. Like our brains are very primitive, though they're incredibly intelligent. They're equally primitive. And so they're trained to fight or flight. And then when our brains were created, this whole concept of video didn't exist. So like our brains right now, like my brain is processing you the exact same way as if we were at lunch or we were playing golf or we're having coffee, right? My brain doesn't go, yeah, but you're not really like good buddies with Dustin. Like y'all have never even met in person. Like my brain doesn't know how to process that. My brain just knows I saw Dustin today.
Right.
I heard his voice. I watched his mannerisms. I saw his facial expressions. And then my brain stores you in my memory. If we looked at video as that simplistic, that there are thousands of people across America that think you're their best friend and that think I'm their best friend because they consume our content. Right? If we saw them in person, they would instantly want to hug us.
Right.
When we would maybe not even know who they were. And it's because of the power of somebody seeing you, whether it's in person or on a screen. And so I even coach people, like, stop overthinking your content. You just need to be present. You could literally get on video today on your hands and knees in your front yard, picking weeds, and go, hey guys, what weed killer do you recommend? Because I'm about tired of being on my hands and knees in my front yard every weekend, pulling these damn weeds.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Instantly, people are going to go, oh my gosh, you got to get this one. Oh my gosh, you got to get this one. And then now I get to come back in and go, oh, I love that. Where is that? And then they're going to come back. I get it at Target. I get it at Callaway's. I get it. And you will create all this momentum because of something as stupid as the weeds in your front yard.
And
it's unbelievable.
Right.
Totally remember it.
Yeah.
Dude, I've thought about your trash can hitting you in the face every time I see you. Now the scab's gone. So I don't think about it.
Yes.
But every story for several weeks, I always related it back to laughing at visualizing a trash can like popping you in the nose.
Yeah.
When we tell those stories, now I can go look at my trash can in my front yard and boom, for a split second, I thought about Dustin. For something as stupid as a trash can. But it works.
And people want to edit that stuff out. You know, they want to edit out losing their train of thought or getting distracted, going off on some squirrel moment, or their voice cracking or saying too much, or, you know, what is too much anyways. We want to edit that stuff out in the beginning because we're like, well, no, it needs to be perfect. But you're removing all of the things that people make connections with.
Yep. 100%.
And it's back to your example though of the stupid trash can lid coming down and getting me right on the bridge of the nose. That son of a bitch hurt.
I bet
it did. But that has nothing to do with real estate.
Right.
And this is another huge issue that we should probably talk about for a minute, is what to do videos about, what to post out there. Because in the beginning, I'm like, I'm a real estate agent, must post about real estate. And pretty much all the other agents are doing the same thing. They're listings, 5 tips for first-time home buyers. And I'm going live to show you my stupid open house at a below average home that nobody cares about. And everyone gets a notification that you're live. Like, what a wasted notification. Like that's a big problem, is way too much posting about real estate. So what should they be doing instead, and why?
Well, so I'll quote, she's like for real one of your friends. I call her my friend, but we're not really friends yet. But Chelsea Pites, who is, you know, a world-class educator of social media, especially through Instagram. Yeah. You know, she said there's magic in the mundane.
Yes.
And so I use that statement all the time. And Chelsea, if you're listening, I always give you credit for it. I never try to take it for myself, because that's exactly what our content should look like. I have a client, Dustin, that a couple weeks ago, that's probably like a month or so ago, she was asking me what she should post about. And I said, Elisa, what is the most boring thing you're going to do this week? And she laughed. She's like, why are you at? Like, she knew where I was going. She's like, why did I even ask you this question? And she said, probably cleaning my toilets. I said, great. Take a selfie with the toilet bowl when you're cleaning your toilet, and then post it on social media. Say something silly. Ask people what the worst thing is they're going to be doing this week, and watch. Bro, it was the most engaged post of the entire week. Because it's the most relatable.
It's so easy to engage with too.
Right. There's no fear. There's no like, oh, you know, Dustin just mentioned his coaching group. And so if I say something, he's going to think I want in, and then I'm going to end up in a drip campaign, and then I'm going to feel awkward.
Yeah.
But if you're posting like, here's my brunch, there is zero fear in people saying something, because you don't sell brunch for a living.
Yep.
Now, if you sold brunch for a living, you wouldn't have the same effect with your brunch post as I would with mine.
True. good point.
But when we talk about things that don't have anything to do with us making money, that's when people feel most comfortable to show up and engage. The problem is most realtors don't know how to talk about anything other than real estate. Therefore, they watch their likes just continually trend down until they finally go, why do I even do this?
Yeah.
Nobody's even liking anything.
Yeah.
And then they just throw in the towel altogether.
Right. They're training the algorithm to not show their stuff to anybody because it's crap.
Yep. And rightfully so. The algorithm shouldn't show their crap stuff to anyone.
Exactly. Yes. See, now I'm thinking about what I did this morning and what a missed opportunity for an Instagram story. There was this wasp nest and I went and sprayed the thing with wasp and hornet spray, and like 25 of them just start crawling out. And I'm sitting there watching this. I'm like, this is horrible. But that would have been such a good story. You know,
that would have been really good, like slow-mo video.
Yes.
Where you could have watched them like really slowly, painfully, like flying away, knowing they were about to die.
Yes.
Would have been incredible.
As their miserable little lives flash before their stupid little eyes. I hate wasps. Not a fan.
Yeah, they don't. There's no value for them on the planet. So I'm glad you murdered them.
Absolutely.
But
I'm happy to.
Even this morning. So I went and walked this morning, and like I took a screenshot of what song was on while I was walking, because I'm gonna put it in my stories, right? And I'm gonna say, who remembers this guy? That's it. No, there's not a punchline. There's not a hook. There's not, I'm buttering you up to go, if you like this guy, well, he's going to be speaking at my next event. Like, there's not a motive.
Right.
It's just me trying to stay human to people.
And that is the magic. That's the power that people who aren't doing this don't get yet, is the connections that people make with you as a human being. And then the fact that you sell homes or you do mortgages is secondary, but they're going to hire you or refer you because you've connected with them. They like you. You're interesting to them. They keep tuning into your stories and they read your posts because it's interesting and relatable. And then they remember you when it comes time to hire an agent or refer a lender or whatever.
And that's the key, when it comes time.
Yes.
And I think, Dustin, realtors focus too much on where their next deal is coming from instead of where their next referral will be created and seeded. Right? Like we focus so much on like, oh, cool, I just sold you a house. Let me get you in a drip campaign. I'm gonna do a pop by every November with a pumpkin pie. You're gonna get a postcard on your birthday. We put so much emphasis into trying to get repeat business for 7 years later, instead of going, man, if I can serve these people well and then show up in front of them every day, I'm not going to just get their business 7 years from now. I'm going to get their neighbor next month. I'm going to get their mom in November, and I'm going to get 4 more of their friends over the next 2 years. But we just can't get over selling ourselves every single day, begging for the next transaction like a homeless person on the side of the road.
That's it. I think it's the number one problem, or the number one thing that's screwing agents over, that they're shooting themselves in the foot over, is posting way too much about real estate. Way too much.
Yep. Because I don't mind the real estate posts unless that's all they post.
That's right.
Like, I like the open house live videos. If you do them with personality and making them fun, and, like you trip up the stairs on purpose to be silly, like those are great videos.
Right.
But they're not great if you're not also showcasing yourself as a parent, as a spouse, as a person that loves working out, or as a foodie. Like, we've got to give them the whole picture. And that's where we've got to get better, I think.
I love it. Absolutely love it. We're kind of running up on the top of the hour. So what we do every week with a guest, we do these rapid fire questions.
Okay.
Either or, you pick one or the other. You can elaborate if you want to. You don't have to.
Ready.
And it's always kind of fun. So if you are ready, let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right, man. Facebook or Instagram?
Facebook.
Facebook or LinkedIn?
Facebook.
Books or podcasts?
Oh, I love both.
Okay.
Podcasts.
Podcasts or audiobooks?
Podcasts.
iPhone or Android?
iPhone.
Obviously.
Duh.
Alexa.
Not a weirdo.
There's some out there for sure. Alexa or Google Home?
Oh, I guess we have an Alexa, so I guess I have to pick that.
I guess so. I mean, you don't want to stab her in the back or anything.
Nope.
No,
Gotta stay loyal.
That'd be problematic. Burgers or pizza?
Oh, burgers.
Or a pizza burger, maybe. Yep.
Oh, I would eat that for sure.
I'm a burger guy myself. New York or LA?
New York.
NFL or NBA?
NFL.
Football or baseball?
Football.
Mountains or beach?
Beach, but not if it's super hot.
Okay. What's super hot?
Like in like mid 90s and up, I'm out.
I'm with you.
I want like Hawaii beach.
If it's 80 or 78.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Down for that.
Yep. Sign me up.
But if it's 100 degrees, take me to the mountains.
Yes, absolutely. Dude, yesterday was 100 in Salt Lake.
Ugh, gross.
Yesterday morning, we went up hiking at 8:30 a.m. It's 52 degrees, 54 degrees.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Give me that.
Podcasts or vlogs?
Oh, I guess a vlog. I'm going to go with vlog.
Vlog it up. YouTube or Facebook Live?
Facebook Live.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad, or Millionaire Real Estate Agent?
Oh, gosh. I think I've spent more time in Millionaire Real Estate Agent. So I'm going to have to say that.
Okay. Uber or Lyft?
Uber.
Gary V or Grant Cardone?
Gary V.
Right on. And what's the most impactful book you've ever read?
It is called The Go-Giver.
Okay.
By Bob Berg and John David Mann.
The Go-Giver. I've heard of that.
Incredible. Have you never read it?
I don't think so.
Dude, it's insane. You'll love it. And you'll read it in a day. It's a small read.
Interesting. Okay, cool. Before we wrap it up, a thought that I had that I wanted to mention earlier. So you do so much live video, and I know if you're just starting doing your first video, live it's a bigger mental commitment, right? But I've noticed, right. And so here's where I've gotten to.
Okay.
If something's live, if I know that I can just record it and toss it out and edit stuff out, like it's different when I'm speaking on stage, when I'm doing a live webinar, when I'm doing a live video, I'm just on. Like I perform better because I'm on, because I know I don't have an out.
Yep.
So what do you recommend people do they're not doing any video at all? Jump right to the live?
So yes, but with a trick. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
This might be the greatest tip in the history of the Massive Agent podcast.
Oh, bold statement.
Probably not. That's a joke, guys. So put your pens away. Probably won't be great. It could be. So I always encourage people to start live, but Dustin, there's a but. There is a setting. So you can go pull up the live before you actually hit the blue button. There is a setting so you can change your privacy to a privacy setting called Only Me.
Yes.
Right? So you can literally go live, experience all the feels of being live, right? But nobody can see it because they're not broadcasting it to anybody. So then if it sucked, no harm, no foul. Delete the video, right? Nobody ever saw it.
Right.
If it was good, you can post it, go back in, change the privacy back to public, and you get most of the benefits of having been live without technically having ever been live.
Right. You just don't get the notification that you're live.
Right.
Yeah.
But you'll still have people that'll scroll and go, dang it, I missed Kyle. I didn't even know Kyle went live.
Right.
And so they're still going to engage it as if it's a live video. But I never had to have the fear and anxiety of, but what if I put my foot in my mouth while I'm live and people are watching?
Right. That's a great tip.
There you have it.
That is top 5.
Okay, I'll take
Massive
that.
Agent tips for sure. Top 5.
I will take that.
Yes.
188 episodes in, top 5 tip. Solid.
Absolutely.
That's solid.
Absolutely. All right. So to wrap it up, where can people find you? Where can they follow you and get more good stuff from you?
They can follow me at kyledraper.com, my website, where you can find me everywhere. I'm Coach Kyle Draper on every social media platform. And you will find more than you would ever want to consume of me in all those places.
A true content creator.
So much content.
Love it. Kyle, dude, thank you so much. Really appreciate you coming on the show today.
Happy to do it, man. Thanks for having me.
You bet. See ya.